Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 Hardcore here on PS5. Tonight it's round 5 of Season 5. We're heading to Miami. And I completely forgot I've been playing on my Aston Martin file earlier. Whoops. Okay. So we're going for back-to-back wins for the what would be our first time of actually being in a position to get back-to-back wins. Obviously, we had a very dominant performance at Baku on Friday, where we won both the sprint and the race relatively comfortably, a 1-2 in each. And we were just managing our pace at the end of the race, keeping the gap at a nice steady level and not really having to work too hard for it, which was nice, very nice. And hopefully we can carry that pace and that form across to Miami. There is going to be some weather, if memory serves. Now we see we are going to have a damp Friday and a damp Saturday, so we may have rain-affected quali, which is always interesting. It can be good or bad. We shall see how that goes. Let me take a quick look at our car in terms of parts. Let's see, suspensions, underfloors. Okay, what have we got in manufacturing? We've got more rear wings, front wings are coming, underfloor is coming. A lot of everything coming. So that's good to see. How you doing, Zeus? How you doing, Anthony? We've got 7.7 million in the bank. We've got design projects going, got research started already for next season. Let's have a look at our facilities. Design center's been shut down because it's on fire again. Everything here is okay, although the car park test center is going to need a refurb / upgrade very soon. Let's check our staff facilities. Everything there is good. Operational facilities. Let's give the boardroom a spruce. Hospitality's fine. Everything here is okay. Tour center needs to be refurbed. Okay, let's get that going. Oh, Anthony, you survived the mid-season sacking. Fantastic. That's good news. How you doing, Victor? As well. Good to see you today. So how many races you got to go now until you do get fired? All right, there we go. Got a spare rear wing. All right, got plenty of spare rear wings actually. Front wings, plenty of spare front wings. Excellent stuff. I do wonder, am I supposed to be making something else? So I'm working on chassis, underfloors, side pods, suspension. Yeah, I've got a new suspension coming. Okay, so all right. One day to go to race day. There we go, so that side pod is done now. Underfloor. And we can now use our design center again. Fantastic stuff. So 5 days to go until the suspension is ready. 21 days for the new underfloor to come. And there you can see we've got spares for everything now except suspension. So hopefully we don't destroy a suspension in the next couple of weekends so that we can get the new ones up and running ASAP. Of course, I have just jinxed myself by saying that now. Let's take a look at our car analysis. Actually, let me check. Are both cars on the same build? Same chassis, front wings, rear wings, iPods, underfloors, and suspension. Yes, they are. So, our car performance. going into this weekend. Ooh, okay. We've taken a little bit of a bump in the speed and acceleration. Hang on a minute. I thought I was running the same parts. Not. Okay. I obviously can't read. Here we go. And underfloor. Well, you might as well go through all the parts now and double check. Side pods. They're both on the same side pod. They're both on the same rear wing. Both on the same front wing. So now I should have equal performance. Yes, I do. Fantastic. All right, so that is where our car sits on the grid. We are about half a kilometre an hour faster than the average on the grid. We've got much better acceleration than the average. We've got 7% better DRS than the average. We're up in the downforce in all departments. Slightly better dirty air. A little bit down on the cooling side, but that's okay. Let's take a look at where we sit against Red Bull. So, Red Bull are better than us in the high speed and the dirty air. But we've got, again, about 0.4 kilometers an hour over them, which is nice. A little bit of acceleration boost. We've got quite a nice DRS boost there. About 9%. We're better than them in the low and the medium. Medium only just, but in the low by a decent amount. And we've actually got better cooling than Red Bull as well. That is very nice. Right, who else are we in contention with? Who came where in the last race? Let's take a look at McLaren. McLaren don't seem to have an all-round good package. In fact, they are down quite a bit in the downforce, low speed particularly, and the high speed for that matter. They are a bit slower than us. Very bad acceleration compared to us. Let's take a look at Ferrari, who we've been fighting with, and it's not looking good for Ferrari at the moment either. Who else has been quick? Let's take a look at Alpine. Alpine looking very quick. Fourth fastest car on the grid for Carlos Sainz. Who's got the third fastest? A little bit down in the downforce, but as we know from our own experience last season, if you've got solid drivers and the characteristics of the track are amenable to you, then just having a rocket ship in a straight line can do wonders. So yeah, expect Alpine to be a little bit quick. I think that's all we need to really look at. Let's have a look at Aston, one last team. And Aston, again, not looking great. I mean, their downforce is pretty abysmal in the low speed. They're down a fair chunk in the speed. Their acceleration isn't too far away, but again, we've got that DRS boost as well. I think we've got a really strong chance of winning this race as well. So, let's set some positive targets. Let's see. Don't want to go too positive. We have got rain to contend with. So we're going to go 2 in the top 6. Let's go both cars into Q3. The incentive is only 1 in Q2. That's a bit weird. 1 in the top 4 is the finish position. I'm hopeful we can do better than that. Fastest lap, yes, we'll go for that. We need 1 in the top 6 to complete our finish position streak tonight. And we are 2 down on our 2 in the top 12 for 5 races on our quali streak. So, it's time to head to Miami.
Once again, we touch down in Miami as F1 returns to the Magic City. Miami Gardens is transformed into the Miami International Autodrome, built here especially for the Grand Prix. It's a thrilling street circuit where one wrong move can end in disaster. But for those who can conquer its literal ups and downs, victory is all the sweeter. Spectacle is the name of the game here in Miami, with a stadium at the heart of this track. With long straights and S-bends, not unlike Suzuka's Sector 1, proper ERS management is sure to give drivers an edge towards victory. Last round was a dream weekend for race winner Oscar Piastri, the Australian showing his mettle against the best of the best. Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
It's so nice that they actually acknowledged that we won the last race. I like that. Let's have some more of that this year. Right then, do I want to put Behrman in the car? No, not tonight. I'll keep Mick in the car tonight. So, let's go with hard tyres in this session. It's rain affected, so we've got to be wary of that, or potentially rain affected. We are still on our first gen of parts, but we will be swapping out gearboxes tonight. I think we'll probably stick with the same engine. Let's go with an 8, 13.5, a 3.7, a 3.3, and a 0.05. There we go. So that's Mick, and we want to go 17 laps from Miami. For Oscar, his gearbox actually in slightly better condition, and so is the engine, but we have been using Mick as the substitute for Ollie whenever we wanted to run Ollie. So his car has taken just a little bit more time on track than Oscar's. Let's go with a 6.5, a 13.5, a 4.6, a 3.45, and a 0, I think. Yes, a 0. All right, let's send them out. Evening, Barron. All right, we've got a nice long period until the rain comes, and it's not going to be that heavy.
Check loud and clear as well. Quick radio check.
So we can probably get away with just staying on the hard tyres the entire session.
Yeah, copy, same. Watch those curves. Copy.
Did I have a good weekend? Yeah, not too bad. Caught up on a little bit of TV viewing, and yeah, watching some more Walking Dead. I've got to play the Clone Wars board game with my group on Sunday morning. We didn't win, but yeah, it was good to have another game over Skype. Did a lot of hell diving, and did some work on my Aston Martin file on this as well. Yeah, didn't do a huge amount. Disappointed with the FA Cup, but yeah, still got another couple of trophies to go for this season. So fingers crossed in that respect. How about you? How was your weekend? Evening, Clark.
seconds. Copy.
Ooh, 68%. That is not good. That is bad. Got a lot of work to do to find a good setup there by the look of it. How is Oscar's car? Oh, it's even worse. It's 57%. Oh, geez. I don't think we've had a setup run like that for a long time, where we've been so far away with both cars. We'll have our work cut out in practice today.
Rain still coming.
Nick's gearbox has now dipped below 40%. That's fine because we're still in practice. Right, so what do we need to do to fix Oscar's car? A lot. Ooh, wow. That is an awful lot we need to fix. So we're gonna go very extreme on this in terms of changes. We're gonna go with a 13. We're gonna go with an 8. We're gonna go with a 1.9, a 3.5, and a 0.6, 0.65. So big changes for Oscar. Let's have a look at Mick. We'll dial that back to a 13. I'm going to go with a 1.9 there. So we're going to go 8.5, 13, 1.9, 3.4. And a 0.65. Go with a 3.45 maybe. No, that looks like that might be a bit too much. So let's have a look at a 7.5, 13 to 8. A 3.5. And a 0.55. Or 0.65. That's not going to work. Okay. Running out of options in the book. Yeah. Not sure what to do with this one. Let's try the same setup we just put on Oscar. So 8, 13, 1.9, 3.5 and a 0.65. That's not going to work either. Okay, so we're going to have to wing this one. I'm going to go with the 8.5. I'm going to pull that. No, I'm going to pull that back to a 2.8. Let's change that to a 7.5. Not convinced by that. Let's go with that. Give that a try. At least we're on the border for the cornering and the braking stability, so at the very least we'll narrow those two down, and hopefully we'll be correct on the other areas that we've changed as well. Yeah. Tough run with the first setups there. I have a new Miami entry in the book. Stay out. It's going to get a little bit wetter. Hopefully we'll be okay. Just be a little bit slow.
Stand by, wait to find out.
Oh, we've got a VSC. Is that one of our drivers?
This is debris for a front wing, it shouldn't be too long.
Doesn't look to be. That's good. Oh no, wow. Stroll and Vashaw have had a coming together. They are both out.
Delta positive.
And we've got feedback from Oscar, and we're at 99%. That is lovely. Just a little click of toe will correct that. Just got to wait and see how we do with Mick. This was the one where we completely guessed it. 86%. So we made a big improvement, but still some work to do. And Stroll is going to get a penalty for the collision that took out him and Vashaw.
The car was great. It felt really good.
So that'll be a 3-place penalty in qualifying. Track now drying up again.
VSC ending.
Yeah.
And there we go. Practice 1 is done. So let's make some more changes to Mick. Alright, so that is still off, so that has to be a 1.9, I think. Need to change the front wing, so I'm going to go with an 8, a 13, a 1.9. Leave that as a 3.5, and let's pull that in to a 0.8. Hopefully that'll be it. Or there or thereabouts. So we're going to go with 25 laps of fuel. 10 of mediums. Well, inters, actually. We're starting on the inters in this session. Okay, and let's go with a 0.6. 25 laps. Okay, there we go. Where am I in the tables? Second in the tables. Very, very nicely in the tables.
Should be green.
So, there you see Oscar is just 4 points behind Max going into this weekend. Max with 2 wins and 3 podiums. We have 1 win, 1 sprint win, 3 podiums. We also have 3 fastest laps. Max doesn't have any, actually, this season. That is a bit of a shock. Or pole positions, for that matter. And then in the constructor standings, we are 20 points behind Red Bull. Anthony's going from barely avoiding getting sacked to winning the title next season. That's the power of positivity for you there. We are on the wrong tyres at the moment, but the track is about to get wet again. There it goes. Barron Field's the top 3 tonight. I'm hoping for the win. Yeah, I think Anthony was being, optimistically sarcastic with his go for the title. Long-time members of the chat will know that it never really seems to work out for Anthony, unfortunately, in the races.
How's the balance so far?
All right, up to 97%, so excellent improvement. We are just a little bit away. What about Oscar? Well, we went the wrong way with the toe, but we can correct that the other way and get that to 100.
Brain's just stopped.
Copy.
Something seems wrong. We're checking.
He's a bit of a beastie boy, is he? Sabotage! Well, we have managed to completely destroy the sedimenters, but that's okay. We're not going to need them again. So what do we need to do to fix Mick's car? Not a huge amount. Let's go to an 8.5. And an 8.5 there as well. Let's give that a try. And for Oscar, we need to click the toe to a 0.7. There we go. That's his car sorted. Did I see the New England shirt? No, I did not. I'm guessing it's terrible. New kits usually are these days. The away shirt is purple. I don't know when England have ever wore purple. Ever. I mean, they might have done it at some point in the past, but I don't think they ever have. It's an interesting decision. All right, final practice. Once again, we're starting on inters. Okay, didn't expect that. Let's go with 20 laps of fuel. Pace settings. There we go. take a look at the weather. Oh, it's going to be wet all the way through. Well, I need to make sure that I don't use all my softs. So I am
Should
going
be green
to
now.
send them out on mediums. Just to make sure that they don't take extra soft tyres from me in this session.
A bit less curb. Copy.
Right, it's a little bit too wet for these tyres at the moment, but it's about to dry up a bit. We'll see if we can continue with these ones now. If necessary, we will switch to a set of inters. Have we got it right for Mick? And I've got it right for Oscar. It's just have I got it right for Mick? There is Oscar's feedback. 100%. Lovely stuff. .96, so I didn't get it right for Mick. Okay, well, let's call Mick in and take a look.
Much better, much better.
Okay, copy that.
Okay, so try it. We've got time, so I'm going to actually run this setup because this is a completely new setup. This is not in the book, so we'll see if we can get this one added in. The extra running means we should also get the car part knowledge up to at least 99, maybe 100%.
Any major problems?
97%. It's still not there.
That was great. Really good.
Okay, understood.
Oh well. That's frustrating. But practice is now done. And we are going to need to make a tweak somewhere, potentially for Mick. Might leave him at just 97. That's still pretty strong. So, just the one penalty to carry into the race, and that is for Lance Stroll for his collision with Zhou. And let's prep for quali.
Let's hope the teams took full advantage of practice. It's time for qualifying.
The Miami International Autodrome has some lovely long straights, but a driver still needs to have total trust in their car setup to get a fast qualifying lap. Turns 14 and 15 in particular are the ones that catch the drivers out in qualifying.
If we could just talk about Mick Schumacher for a second. Given his recent form, how's he going to be going into this session?
They set a great lap in practice, so you can only imagine how good they're feeling going into qualifying. But the big question is, will they be able to keep this performance up?
Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
It is, yeah, it's what I feared it might be. Not sure I can correct that without messing everything else up. I can't, so let's go back to our 97%. We'll leave them at that. Right, we need new parts. Going to keep the same engine, but we are going to change the gearbox. There we go. Or do I change the engine tonight? Well, let's see how we do in qualifying one. I might change the engine after qualifying one. We'll see what kind of time we can set. But I think we should still be pretty competitive. Right, taking a look at the track details. It's going to get wet on the second flying lap, or drier on the second flying lap. So let's go with 2 laps worth of fuel.
Green light, green light. Concentrate on the tyre warm-up as best we can. Couple. Good warm-up on brakes. Copy.
No one else out yet? Oh, there we go. For sure coming out. Still only the 3 cars on track. I wonder if they're waiting for that weather to dip just a little bit. So we might get a little flurry of activity from cars in a minute where a lot of them come out in one go. Here comes Zhou.
And track clear. Good to push next lap. You got a good gap ahead.
Now Ocon and Maloney are coming out as well. And Albon, it's just the little flurry of activity I was worried about. They'll pop out right in front of us. Yeah, here we go. Here's the activity. So most of the traffic is going to be behind us. That's okay. We've got a little bit to deal with. Past the McLaren without any issues. Maloney will get out of the way nicely. Oscar may be slightly compromised through there, but we're doing a 2-lap run, so we've got time. Joe gets out of the way. Maloney lets us through without any issues. Mix on it at the moment. It's going to go fastest. Just under a tenth faster than Oscar. 1:33.8. We are 3.5 tenths quicker than for sure. Definitely more pace to find. And here's Maloney. Okay, the Alpine getting a mighty slipstream there. That's Albon tucked in behind Ocon.
Clear track ahead. Good to push next lap.
And Joe just 0.003 of a second slower than Schumacher.
Is good. Push when you're ready.
Ocon and Albon go quickest. They're kind of getting in the way of the Williams a little bit at the end of the lap there. Oh wow, yeah, we are way off the pace, but now we get set a time when the track water is lower. Should get some big improvements from our drivers here. This isn't good for Mick, getting held up. It's going to be the same for Oscar as well. Damn it. Both Red Bulls in the way. Christ. We're improving, but this is not going to be a great lap. There's more pace to find. least we'll finish the lap strongly. So Mick improves up to 7th, found half a second.
P7. Okay, so normal in-lap procedures from here, please.
Copy.
Oscar found nearly 7/10 of a second there, up to 5th. Much better second lap for him. Could have been even better, but he definitely lost time behind the 2 Red Bulls. Gonna have to go again as soon as we get back to the garage, because there will be some improvements with everyone else going out as well. Don't want to risk getting knocked out in Q1. Oh, great, we're going out behind the Haas.
Let's go there.
I'm going to take manual control.
Copy.
Focus on the tyres more. Copy. Okay, push. Let's go.
Copy.
Can we do lift and coast?
Copy.
Comfortable to push. Yep. Copy.
Get them round a little bit quicker
No saving required.
before the track gets a bit too wet again.
Energy's good. Yeah. Let's pick our pace up. Let's go.
Copy.
Tyre conditions good. We can push a bit more. Copy. No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
Copy.
Very crowded on track. Mixture of cars on out laps and flying laps and in laps. Red Bulls are pushing as well, so we're not going to get in the, held up by them, which is good. I think the track's now a little bit too wet to improve. Hopefully we found enough in the first sector to move Mick up a little bit, just to be on the safe side. Mick does not improve.
Lift and coast is required for temperature.
Oscar does improve a little bit. So Mick did get held up by, was it Vashore?
Back
Yeah.
off now.
S05 ashore.
Copy.
It's a bit of a shame.
Focus on bringing the pack back up. Yep.
So, hopefully, Mick will be okay because we're not going to get any improvements now. Nobody else should improve either, or not sufficiently enough. It looks like we're going to see George Russell get knocked out. Yeah, Russell, Stroll, Zhou, Vasseur and Maloney will be knocked out at the end of this session. Hopefully we'll get a cleaner Q2. We're starting on the softs this time. Let's get ready to send them out.
2, 1, should be green.
New engine for Q2. No, I think we'll be okay.
Copy.
Just start to work.
We didn't get really clean runs on either of our runs. And we didn't have DRS either. Now, once we factor our DRS back into the mix, we should be very quick. I'd like to try and get through this weekend without swapping the engine out if possible. This is probably going to be our only run, so it needs to be a good one. Whole field is out, so we shouldn't have traffic issues to deal with.
Clear track ahead.
Oh yeah, both drivers are in the 40% on their engine.
So we should be good on traffic. So you're good to go.
So Mick goes purple. Which is quicker than Oscar. And it's still purple. That's one of the Red Bulls having gone through. Could be a purple lap by the look of it. Yeah, pretty much everybody's gone through now. And there we go. I think Giovinazzi just took, or it might have been the second Red Bull, just took purple in the first sector. I know whether that's an Alpine at the back, so not sure. That might be Sainz. A 128.0. That's a pretty good lap for Mick. What can Oscar do? He's slightly slower.
So, it's going to be normal in lap procedures.
Yeah, copy.
By 0.003 of a second. Ooh, that is close.
Currently,
Half a second quicker than Hajar.
cool the car. Copy.
Half a second quicker than Perez. A second quicker than Norris. Half a second quicker than Leclerc. Bottas. Albon. Let's see, where is Max? Max slightly quicker, but less than a tenth. And that should be it. I don't think anyone's going to improve, or at least not enough to knock us out. So we are done for this session.
Seems like good training.
Yep, copy that.
It'll probably dip just below 1 again at the end of the session, but like I said, I don't think anyone's going to improve, or at least not enough to cause any issues for us. Might get an improvement at Norris, who is a long way off the pace at the moment. But even that is not a guarantee, given the current water level on the track. But nobody else is even trying, so that's it. That's your top 10. We're going to say goodbye to Sainz, Ocon, Magnussen, Pourchaire and Norris. Perez just sneaking through with the only remaining Ferrari. Both McLarens out in Q2. Let's see what we can do in Q3. Okay, so we've got time for one run. These tyres will be good enough.
It should be green now.
And we are out in front of Verstappen, and there is Leclerc coming out in the background as well.
Let's get those brake tanks warmed up.
Copy.
So it's going to be a one-lap showdown
Good scrub.
for pole position.
Copy.
It's going to be clean air for us, Schumacher and Verstappen. Say us, I mean Oscar. And Leclerc as well. Nobody in the front four close enough to get a slipstream. Possible slipstream available for Perez, but he's a little further back than he would like. The Williams of Giovinazzi is close enough to the back of Hajar, but Hajar isn't going to be amazingly quick. So that might actually hurt Giovinazzi. Because we know that Williams can be pretty quick. So it's all going to come down to this one lap. Again, no traffic issues to worry about. The whole track, or the whole field is on the track right now.
Nice big gap ahead. Clear behind.
Evening refill. Oscar is fastest in the first. See, can he hold it? It's quicker than Max. Leclerc is quicker in the first sector. Could be very close margins between us and the Red Bulls for pole here. Mick still fastest overall in the middle sector. This could be one of the tightest qualifying sessions we've ever had. Mick sets the pace at 1:28.0, just like in the last session.
Normal lap procedures, please.
Oscar goes quickest in the final sector and just takes pole by 44 thousandths of a second. Right, here comes Max.
And we need to cool the P1s in that.
Leclerc is 2/10 slower. Max goes quickest. Ooh. So it was Max in front of Leclerc. I got them the wrong way round. But I think that's it. I think that is the top four. Giovinazzi goes fifth, getting that slipstream behind Hajar. Gasly all the way down in 8th place, a long way off the pace. Track is getting wet. Bottas improves to 8th. Albon coming up to the line now goes 7th, and that is your running order for the Grand Prix, because no one's going to improve with a track like that for the rest of qualifying. So Max takes his first pole position of the season, Oscar in 2nd, Mick in 3rd, Leclerc in 4th. It's a Red Bull and Alpha Tauri front rows lockout, because we've got rows 1 and 2 locked out between the two of us. Evening, Dark. But yeah, just 67 thousandths of a second separating the top three. It's going to be a very close race, I think. And it's going to be dry, no rain to worry about, so we will have our DRS all the way through, which is lovely stuff.
Good entry.
Come in, nice and steady.
Copy.
Lando's racing for McLaren. Lewis retired.
Race day. And before we
So
get
did
down
Alonso.
to it, last-minute checks are being made.
The Miami Grand Prix arrived onto the calendar in 2022 with much fanfare, and F1 history is still very much being written here. Drivers have to take chances around the street circuit and hope those chances turn into victory.
How do you think Oscar Piastri is feeling as we get nearer to race time?
You know what, Crofty? They're performing well above what's been expected of them so far. All in all, not a bad place to be.
The Autodrome is ready for some serious action today here at the Miami Grand Prix.
Evening, Running Joke. How do I manage the pit crew training? You struggle getting sub 3 second stops. Just be careful with your how much training you're putting them in. You don't want to overload them and wear them out, so that when they get to a race weekend, every day of a race weekend, their fatigue level goes up. So you will see a drop in performance as the race weekend, moves along day by day. And if you're sending them in and they're already tired and they then go above 50% fatigue during race day, then you're likely to get a lot of mistakes. I will show you my pit crew training for the month once we get through the race at the end, if you stick around for that. We are going to go for a one stop tonight, I think. I'm going to start on the medium tyres. And just make sure we look after them. There we go. We are going to put in one extra lap of fuel. Going to go hard off the line and then try and calm the tyres down quickly. And that is it. We are ready to go. So, off we go to the grid for the Miami Grand Prix.
57 laps await our competitors here in Miami, so may the best driver win. You and I won't be the only ones keeping an eye on Oscar Piastri, Karun.
It's a P2 start for them, an excellent opportunity, and no doubt they'll be looking to grab it with both hands.
Right, let's get to it then. And this is it, the Miami Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Good start for Mick.
Head down, we'll leave you to it.
He gets in front of Oscar off the line. See, Max starting on the softs, and so is Leclerc. So the Red Bulls are going to be very quick in this first stint. Having Hajar up in 5th is potentially going to help keep the rest of the field at bay. Albon, Bottas and Gasly on hard tyres. And then it's a mix, more softs and mediums in the bottom half, as Leclerc has got in front of Oscar.
Just focus forward for now.
And Giovinazzi punching his way through past Hajar, just behind us. My car is looking quick this season. Yes, it is. It's looking potentially championship winning this season, depending on how we can manage upgrades through the rest of the season. Max has bolted away. I'm quite prepared for Leclerc to just jump through past Mick, and then we'll try and stay with the Leclerc. I don't know if the AI is going to one-stop tonight or not. I think some of them will. I don't know if the rest are going to two-stop. We tend to see that the Red Bulls do generally tend to one-stop instead of two-stop, or at least Max does. I'm not sure about Charles. But if we can use the pace of Leclerc's softs to stay close enough to Max that we can keep our tyres in good shape, then we can try and stretch ours for the one, save a bit of track time that way. Of course, this is a circuit where safety cars do happen, so we'll have to see whether or not that's going to affect our strategy. Jar is holding Giovinazzi at bay at the moment.
So focus on bringing the tyres down. Yep. Bring the pack up. Copy. DRS enabled.
And we've managed to get back into range of Max, which suggests he's thinking about looking after his tyres if he's slowed himself down enough already for us to get back in range. I think maybe a one-stop for him. So if we can stay with him while he's on these softs, we will have the tyre advantage when he switches to mediums and we switch to softs. He's just got that little bit of extra grip through the corners at the moment, but he will come back to us. See Leclerc getting a little bit feisty, looking to make the move on Mick. Again, happy for that to happen.
Use energy now. Copy.
I want to make sure we stay in the DRS range.
Right, head down. Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Need to focus on getting the pack up. Copy. Recharge on, please. Recharge on.
Well, Leclerc is absolutely bolting right now.
We can just focus on charging the pack. Copy.
So, the Red Bulls have broken away from us. We'll get them back. No team orders at the moment. So if our drivers overtake each other, that's fine.
No risks? Yep. Let's just keep it on the track.
Copy.
Let these guys go. Yep. Need to defend that.
Copy.
Just looking after the tyres right now. Don't want to push too hard too soon. Like I said, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get some inter-team overtakes so we can get some DRS slingshots. Because the Red Bulls are going to be scrapping with each other. Set it so that our drivers will defend the racing line only. Should make it easier for them to overtake each other, in theory.
You can back off a bit. Copy. We need to focus on the energy now. Copy.
So try and be patient in this first stint. There will come a point where we will have a quicker car than the Red Bull on this stint. It's just making sure that they don't get too far ahead that we can't then do anything about it when we do have the pace. Just making sure that Oscar's tyres don't overheat in the dirty air.
Push on the tyres. Copy. Focus on bringing the pack back up. Copy.
Ron Joke says, excited about the new F1 manager that's coming. Hope they add new features. Oh, they're adding a bunch of new features. Obviously, the one that everyone knows about is the creator team. That one's coming. But they're also adding in a change to the contract system. So other teams will now try and poach your staff and your drivers, which is something that people like myself have been calling for since day one of the first game. That's going to make things much more interesting in the contract situation. Engine reliability is going to be a thing now, or car reliability. So we might see that the DRS stops working properly, or the ERS, or just a problem with the power itself, or maybe a gearbox issue. And those will range from minor temporary faults all the way up to race-ending faults by the look of it, which suggests that they're also going to be adding in a new engine reliability, or at least a car reliability department into the backstage. So we'll have an expansion of the staff, maybe a new reliability director to go alongside the technical and aero and sporting directors that we've got. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting upgrades coming. I'm hoping that we will also get live timings, but you know, I get the feeling that might be just a bit too much to expect. But based on the changes that we've seen that are coming, very, very happy. If you are wanting to get as much information as you can, best thing to do is to watch the Frontier Unlocked live stream on Wednesday the 27th, I think, of March. It's the last Wednesday of the month. It'll be 6 p.m. UK time, and it'll be on YouTube and Twitch, and that will go through showcasing some of the new stuff for F1 Manager 24. I will definitely be watching that before we stream, and then we'll be talking about
Use everything.
Copy.
Thought I just heard a collision in the background somewhere then. Alright, Oscar is generally a little bit quicker than Mick, so we'll try running with
Okay, recharge on.
Oscar in front. But we're going to keep swapping our drivers over in DRS zones once I've got a healthy amount of battery in both cars.
Just think about looking after this tyre where we need to.
I do want to break away from Hajar and Giovinazzi. I don't want to bring them with us when we break, which is another reason why I'm trying to just build up some battery so I can sprint the cars for a couple of laps. Break the tow, break the slipstream and the DRS. And then see if we can get back on the balls. Gap's about 4 seconds. We are lapping around about a tenth slower at the moment. That's not too bad.
Overtaking is available.
Copy.
Use energy.
Yeah, copy.
Trusting my drivers not to do something stupid and take each other out here.
Use energy.
Copy.
So let's lean on these tyres.
Copy.
And this is the lap I'm going to try and break away. Do I have contact with Frontier, or do they reach out to me? No, as far as I'm aware, Frontier don't even know I exist.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
We can push more.
Copy. Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Okay.
Maybe if you want to start a writing campaign.
No more DRS. Copy.
Alright, Giovinazzi has now got through against Hajar.
No more energy.
We've got the gap down to 2.5 seconds now, and now we're going to ease the tyres down again.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Copy.
Let's look after these tyres.
Big lift off.
Copy.
And there we go, we've got a nice little lead over 5th place now. Closing in on the back of the Red Bulls. They're doing 134s at the moment. Obviously we did 133s on the last lap because we were pushing. Let's see what we do this lap.
Avoid overtake, avoid overtake.
Copy.
I'm just going to get Mick to sit behind right now
You're fighting, as long as that's clear.
while he's charging. And when he's charged, we'll move him past Oscar, and then we'll get Oscar to sit behind and charge. And hopefully by then we'll have caught up to the back of the Red Bulls. So we did 134.6, which is about the same as Max, slightly quicker than Charles. The big old queue from Bottas back, all the way down to 17th. Mercedes bookending that train there. Stroll's not far off in either.
Let's go recharge on.
Copy.
recharge on, please. Recharge on.
Copy.
All right, the jar is closing in.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Keep your pace up.
Got to be wary. Don't want them to catch the back of us and get DRS on us again. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to push Mick.
Let's go.
Copy.
Past Oscar. Just to open that gap up to Hajar again, and also now see if we can get after Leclerc. Red Bull tyres looking a bit iffy. They might be two-stopping. See, our tyres in better shape than Hajar, Giovinazzi, Perez. Almost as good as Albon's hards.
Let's go. Recharge on, please. Recharge on.
Copy.
And Hajar is still pushing, trying to get onto the back of us again. .133s. Max has tried to break away. And with Leclerc's tyres at 44%, we've now got a chance of actually catching him on this lap if he doesn't push hard to try and get back into range. Hajar again is pushing hard, trying to close that gap. Didn't quite get it, but he's close.
Energy is available.
Yep.
Yeah, Leclerc's on a flying lap. He's bringing Giovinazzi and Perez and Gasly with him.
And recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
And Leclerc has pushed and got back into range.
Disabled.
Gap's gone back up again. So the Red Bulls are probably getting ready for a stop.
Careful on the energy. Copy. Bring the pack up. Copy.
And Ocon's in. First driver to stop tonight. Gap up to 5 seconds. And that is a one-stop. Sorry, a two-stop strategy for Ocon. So I'm considering converting to a two-stop myself. Based on that. It is quicker. And we've got a solid pit crew. So let's try and go for it.
Come on.
Copy.
Okay, well, let's try again. Recharge on.
Copy.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
Hopeful our pace will be enough pushing like this to break away from Hajar and Co. Should start to close in on the Red Bulls as well.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
I want to break up that train behind us a little bit if I can.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
Playing a bit of a game of cat and mouse at the moment. And there goes Max. And he's going mediums. That's a long way to go to the end, so he's probably going to go soft, medium, soft. I've been genuinely impressed with Hajar's pace. He has kept with us. New fastest lap for Ocon on those new soft tyres, but he's a long way off at the moment.
Okay, recharge on.
Yeah, okay.
Recharge on.
Copy.
And there goes Charles Leclerc. And Hajar's in as well. So again, medium tyres, and that's a long way to go to the end. Hajar's going softs. So that's definitely a two-stop for him as well. Mediums for the Ferrari. Coming off, soft tyres going on. So again, two-stop strategy. we can push really hard like this for a few laps, get these batteries charged up. We've opened up the gap to Giovinazzi behind to 5 seconds now. Max currently in P11, Leclerc in P13. It's going to stretch an extra lap or two while we still got some life left in the tyres. Making good pace, 133s, 134s, it's not too bad. Gasly's moved himself up into third place now, ahead of Giovinazzi. And I'm going to flip the order slightly, so I'm going to box Piastri before I box Schumacher, I think. Just because the tyres are in slightly better condition than Mick. Alright, Giovinazzi boxes. .133.7 for Mick, 137.39. We're a second slower than Max, and Leclerc's probably going to be doing similar pace. 132.2 for Charles Leclerc on that lap. 133.9 for Max, who's just managed to get himself ahead of Porsche.
Let's go recharge on.
The team at Mercedes are waiting.
Oh, it's a stuck front right tyre. A very stuck front right tyre. Terrible stop for Zhou.
Okay, let's go recharge on.
Alright, so our first stop, Oscar in. Needs to be a good stop. We are going to come out behind both the Red Bulls. We've lost a little bit of ground, but hopefully we'll get out into some relatively clean air. .3, it's not bad. We can do better. We are going to get out in front of Ocon. And behind her jar.
Okay, so let's look after these tyres. Need to focus on getting the pack up.
Yep.
Push, push. Box, 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 box.
Copy. Box is done.
So we are 7 seconds behind Leclerc, 9 seconds behind Max. They're on mediums though, so we should have more pace in this stint, and then it will be pretty close in the final stint again.
Box.
Copy that. Come on.
Ferrari coming out. That's going to be for Perez. For share boxing as well. 2 cars that'll get out of the way of Piastri, who's now going to push for a flying lap. 2.49, that's a bad stop for us.
Okay, maybe close pit exits with Leclerc.
There goes Oscar.
Okay, mate, let's try and protect the tyre.
I'm expecting to see some purple sectors soon.
Push up.
Just on the edge of peak confidence. The fastest lap. Stuck behind her jar though.
So take it easy.
It's not ideal.
They'll come to us. Big PU cooling.
Nice easy dive up the inside there. And Oscar is away.
Lovely stuff.
Good job. 6. Back off now. Back off in high speed. Bring the pack up.
And Mick is coming. This could be an even quicker fastest lap for Mick, potentially. And 130.6, not quite, but a very quick lap.
Okay, mate, let's keep looking after these tyres. Recharge on.
All right, let's get our way onto the back of Valtteri.
Just think about looking after this tyre where we need to.
Red Bulls have caught each other up again. That's frustrating. I was hoping they would stay isolated from each other. But they haven't caught Gasly yet, who is one-stopping. Oscar's just going to absolutely fly past here.
Sweet. Okay, good job.
Onto the 2-4. That's not bad.
Need some more lift at coast, please. A bit more in each zone.
Maxed out on confidence as well. Closing in on Albon. We've got the gap down on what it was quite comfortably already. Plenty of time left.
Alright, ready, push, push. Overtake is available.
See if we can get them both. Box him in, box him in. Yes, there we go, boxed him in. And then straight past Valtteri. Beautiful double overtake. Albon boxes. So we were, what, 7.5 seconds behind Leclerc? We're now 4.5 behind. And Hajar is still stuck behind Valtteri, so we've got our gap. Oscar half a second quicker than the Red Bulls on that last lap. Max gets past Gasly.
And recharge on, recharge on.
And there is our two drivers in the background, just coming into shot.
Recharge back on, please, recharge on.
And Leclerc has dropped off the back of Gasly again, who is getting a nice little tow from Max here. Going to leave him vulnerable to us.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Tauri, recharge on. No more DRS.
And I think now Leclerc is going to get past Gasly. We've reached the halfway point of the race. And we are not far off.
And energy is available.
Copy.
Not if we keep holding it other up like that, though.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Use energy.
Copy.
Pull out to take some air on the straight.
Yeah.
There we go. Leclerc is through on Gasly. We're only 3.5 seconds behind now.
Let's recharge on.
No energy. We can just focus on charging the pack.
And the Red Bulls are slowing down now that they are the ones punching the hole in the air. That's a tyre situation. We still have more life left in our tyres than the Red Bulls do, and we're on the quicker compound. It's looking good. This is really benefiting Gasly, though. Being able to stay with the Red Bulls as long as he has is giving him more pace than he would normally have on those tyres. So it'll help him on his one-stop strategy. Could see him jumping up quite a few places in the final standings. Gasly boxes. So that's worked out really nicely for him to get a tow as long as he did. It should be mediums, and it is. One stop confirmed. Where's he going to jump out? Behind Ocon and Russell. Can he get out in front of Perez? Not quite. So he's down in 14th, so he's got a bit of work to do, but he doesn't have to stop again.
Pull the car.
Understood. Need to focus on getting the pack up.
We've still got a new suspension to come and a new underfloor to come on this car before our current round of upgrades finishes, as Valtteri comes in off his hard tyres at last. But this should be mediums for him as well. It is. Well, they have fallen away so much in the last couple of years. And there he is, down in 18th place.
Bring the pack up. Copy.
Max is definitely looking stronger than Charles. I think Leclerc's lost his opportunity to win now. .32.7 against the 32.6. Leclerc's tyres are worse. And they flipped their times this time. 32.9 for Mick, 33.3 for Oscar, who is out of DRS range.
And you are free to use the energy when you want.
Yep.
Push the
It's
tyres.
closing back up a little bit.
Yep.
Overtake is available from there if you need it.
My headset disconnected for a second then, that's why I went quiet. Got it reconnected again. I do love this Elite, Pulse Elite, but there are issues with the link connection, unfortunately. It does tend to drop out at the most annoying of times.
No more lift and coast required. Let's push, come on. Okay, recharge on, recharge on. Push the tyres now. Copy.
And once again, Leclerc has pushed hard, got himself onto the back of Max.
Energy if you need
Didn't
it.
want them to do that, because when they do that, they start getting the overtakes on each other and just pulling away under DRS conditions. what I've been trying to do to catch them. They may have just a little bit too much for us tonight. Maybe I should have changed the engines, but wanted to save those for Imola. We will be changing engines at Imola.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
No energy.
Copy. Okay, let's push.
We're going to get an undercut on Max, I think. It's a question of whether or not we undercut Charles Leclerc. I'm pushing the tyres a little bit harder now. Box earlier.
Lift and coast required.
Be easier than trying to hunt them down, because we've just fallen away from them every time they've boxed before us.
Lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
Again, they're going side by side. They never seem to lose time though when they do that, which is annoying because we do.
Let's get him.
It's coming down, but I've got no battery at the moment. Just try and get a little bit into Oscar before we have to box him.
Back off now.
Copy.
We need lift and coast.
Copy.
Try and bank a little bit of extra fuel as well. Gasly at Aston. Yeah, he's been this I think is his second season. I've never seen Gasly in a Mercedes.
Okay, let's box.
Evening, Derek. Has Ocon caused a crash today? No, not today.
No saving required.
Copy.
Speaking of Gasly, he's now up to 8th place. And all of the cars in front of him are going to have to box again. He's 25 seconds behind Max and Leclerc. So they should get out in front of him. It'll be touch and go with us, but I think we should just about do it. If we don't come out in front of him, we'll certainly have the pace to get back in front of him.
Get your head down, you can do this, come on.
Those Red Bulls keep swapping places in the DRS zones and keeping that gap healthy. Really frustrating.
just focus on charging.
And there we go, Max is in.
Copy.
So, Mick in.
Copy, Pilatri.
Copy that. Focus on bringing the pack back up. Yeah.
Oh, he's going mediums. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting.
Box, box. Copy, box.
That's a good stop. 2.3. Second quickest stop of the day. We do get out in front of Gasly.
Let's go recharge on.
3 seconds behind with Mick. So I'm expecting Charles Leclerc to box this lap. Gasly's all over the back of Schumacher.
Okay, so let's make that gap.
And Oscar is absolutely flying onto the back of Leclerc.
Need to focus on getting the pack up. Copy.
And Leclerc does box. And that's what I expected to see from Max. Soft tyres. Oh, no! No, 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 no. It's going to put us behind Gasly.
Watch the pit exit line.
Schumacher, though, has got in front.
Let's look after these tyres.
Copy.
Recharge on, please.
Of Charles Leclerc. We did manage to jump him.
Bring the pack up. Yeah.
Leclerc's going to come for us.
Go get him. Use energy.
Okay.
Norris has stopped.
This has been a very tight battle between us and Red Bull tonight.
To recharge on, please.
Copy.
Go, mate. Keep
We'll
it
let
going.
Charles do the heavy lifting in terms of catching back up to Max. We'll just make sure we don't get dropped. I do want to protect our tyres once we get into the train, but we've got to get that train going first of all.
Let's just keep it on the track.
Copy.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Oscar's caught Gasly. There he is.
so use the free air.
Copy.
No energy.
Yep. Copy.
130.2. Don't know if that's a new fastest lap or not.
So slow.
It is. 130.2 is 4/10 quicker than our previous fastest lap.
Maybe just take it easy on the straight.
Recharge on, please recharge on.
So now we've got a bit of work to try and get Oscar onto the back of the cars in front.
Recharge on.
Copy.
So we've got him into peak confidence at a crucial point. So that will help. Leclerc has almost caught Max. We are right there with him. Evening, Army. Was I on rarely defend? Yes. I don't look at that as a cheat code. I look at it as getting the drivers to actually do what you're telling them to do. You know, setting them up so that they can overtake each other in the DRS zones without just pulling out halfway and not doing what they're supposed to do. You know, just slowing them both down, fighting when you don't want them to fight. There is no way to tell you to not fight teammate and still get the overtakes going. So micromanaging their overtakes that way is the only way to do it, unfortunately. But I absolutely avoid, you know, the obvious sort of exploits like pushing the tyres and driving while, you know, avoiding high-risk curves to minimise the tyre temps. Really hope that's not a thing in the next game. It's probably not going to have the pace to catch up.
Take it easy.
Not unless we get a push lap or several going. So we're going to focus on Mick.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down.
Make sure that we can keep Mick close enough to do what he needs to do. I'd like to get in touch with Max, so I want to get the battery full. We'll also look after the tyre, so we've got rubber to fight with later in the stint, because Max is on mediums, so his tyres won't degrade as quick as us. And if I can get in front of Max, I can then try and slow the pace down enough to allow Oscar to close up. Leclerc is dropping off. He's obviously charging up, ready for another flying lap. Max is really pushing hard as well, which doesn't help.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
I think Charles just turned it on again.
Overtake is available.
Copy.
Okay, mate, good job. No more lift and coast required.
He has. He's going back after Max. Evening, Mr. Water. Wondering where you were tonight.
Let's pick our pace up. Let's go.
Copy.
Oh, Max has taken the fastest lap from us. Of course he has.
Let's recharge on.
Copy.
Okay, mate, so let's look after these tyres.
Okay.
More lift and coast, please. Each zone.
Copy.
Yeah, I think I've missed my opportunity to try and get Oscar onto the train. He's just falling further and further behind. Still, a new engine at Imola. Our car is in excellent shape. It's going to get even better, hopefully, with either a new suspension or a new side pod. I forget which one. I think it might be a new side pod, maybe. I can't remember. We've got something coming from Imola, I think. And so those new powertrains will make us very quick. We should stand a very good chance of a win at Imola.
Let's keep the pressure on, mate. Okay, mate, and let's cool the car.
Copy.
Let's get Mick into peak confidence and try and hunt down Max. Get us into a position where we can then try and control the pace from the front.
We need to push up, please.
DRS disabled. DRS disabled. Let's recharge on.
Can we get the fastest lap? Got no DRS out of this corner, which is not going to help us. Or no ERS, sorry. No, we couldn't.
Okay, mate, let's keep looking after these tyres.
Right, gap's back down to 2 seconds. Get some more battery in Oscar. We'll try and take the fastest lap with Oscar if we can. Just struggling to stay with Max. He's pushing those medium tyres pretty hard. It's just allowing him to be a bit more aggressive than us. It's the fastest lap now. 1:29.9. Oof. .7 for Max. He's still quick. Yeah, I don't think I've got enough pace to catch Max. I think I might have to settle for second. Give him TMC. Gap's already back up to 3.5 seconds. Cannot keep up with Max's sustained pace. I didn't see the match. I saw the result. I was busy hell diving.
Used energy. Copy.
So, what we'll do now is we're going to slow down.
Let's make sure we keep those cars behind. Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Charles Leclerc and try and make sure we at least get a double podium.
Overtake is available. No lift and coast required.
So I'm giving up on the win. But I'm going to try and nobble Leclerc.
Keep your pace up. Keep on him. Okay, so let's cool the car now.
Yeah, copy.
Need to defend that.
Copy.
no more DRS.
Now we've got the fastest lap back.
Six laps to go. Recharge on.
Copy.
Back off now. Copy. Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Focus on bringing the pack back up. Copy. No energy, no energy. Copy.
I need to get back in front of Charles again.
Overtake is available.
Copy.
Pull the car.
Copy.
Damn it, Mick. Come on.
Let's go recharge on.
Copy.
Push more. Copy. 4 laps to go. Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
Come on.
Copy.
Got to get Charles on this lap. He's pushing too.
See if we can push up.
Oh, I might not even get second now.
3 laps to go. Let's go recharge on, please.
Copy.
It'll be a tense finish.
Okay, we need lift and coast, please.
Copy.
Oh, Leclerc's really going for it. Pace-wise. Oh, man, this is tight. Come on. Oscar's dropped too far back again. So now we're in a fight for second. I can't bring Oscar into it. I can't take that risk.
Copy.
Okay, mate, let's try and protect the tyre.
Copy.
Can we do lift and coast?
Copy.
There's going to be fourth place for Oscar, but he will get the fastest lap. But we do want to get second place with Mick, who just cannot seem to find a way through at the moment.
Copy.
Keep the pressure on.
There we go.
Okay, mate, and let's cool the car.
Copy.
If someone gets the fastest lap outside of the top 10, they don't get the point for it. They do get the fastest lap, but they don't get the bonus point. Ah, damn.
Copy.
Leclerc just does not want to give it up.
Okay, recharge on, good job, recharge on.
Copy.
Lift and coast is required for temperature.
Copy.
No one gets the point if it's outside the top 10. It just goes down in the record books that they got the fastest lap, but there's no reward.
On those temps.
That's good.
Okay, mate, no more lift and coast needed.
Okay, copy.
Oh, we got him. We just got him.
Where you can. Okay, mate, that's the checkered flag.
Ah, it was tight. Well, that's a solid result. Second and fourth tonight. It's a shame we couldn't quite compete for the win. New engines at Imola will change our fortunes, I'm sure.
This is the checkered flag.
And it's still massive points for the team. It's a good boost for Mick, who hasn't been scoring so well against Oscar this season. Oscar will get the extra point for the fastest lap. And we had some decent times in the pit stops as well. So all round, pretty solid afternoon, I think.
Mick Schumacher's drive, definitely worthy of praise today.
That's a well-earned result. From the factory and on the pit wall, that's a podium for the whole team.
Well, they've been waiting for this, haven't they? And it's only right that they make the most of it. And it really comes as no surprise to see the Schumacher name up in lights.
And with that result, it marks their second podium of the season.
And after a hot and sweaty Miami Grand Prix, I think this is as good a time as any to cool off. And down there in the Alpha Tauri garage, Karoon, what would they be making of that race, do you think?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
And with that, our weekend in Miami now draws to a close.
Now the teams will be looking ahead to Imola, where the season progresses with the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Get ready for some fierce competition.
There we go then, confirmation of the final result. Max does hold off and take the win. We got the fastest lap, and it was mighty fast compared to Max in the end. 129.1 against a 129.9. Mick takes second place, Charles in third, Oscar unfortunately dropping down a couple of places. Gasly finished in fifth, so he did gain 5 places. Solid result for Russell, up 10 places to finish in sixth. Norris up 8 to finish in seventh. Williams 8th and 9th, good points for them again. Bottas actually gets a point for Mercedes, so the one stop worked for him tonight. Looking a little bit further down at the bottom half of the standings, or the order, you see Sainz in 11th, Stroll up 8 places to finish in 12th, ahead of Ocon, Albon, Hajar, Perez, Pourchaire, Joe, Maloney, for sure, and then Maloney at the end. In the drivers' standings, Max stretches his lead in the Drivers' Championship over Oscar. 98 points against 84. With 14 behind, it's still all to play for. And Charles Leclerc moves up into third place ahead of George Russell by 3 points. He is 22 points behind Oscar right now. Mick, also getting a good chunk of points, is now just 8 points away from George and jumps above Norris in the process. Gasly up 3 places to finish, to move into 7th. No points for Albon tonight or Stroll. They both lose places as a result, as does Magnussen despite his 2 points. Giovinazzi moves up a place into 12th with his 4 points over Sainz. Bottas moves up into 16th place. Mercedes are finally off the board, so they will no longer be bottom of the constructors. Speaking of, that's 40 points for Red Bull. They're on 160. We are 25 points behind on 135. A long way clear of Ferrari and McLaren in third and fourth. McLaren really dropped off the boil at the start of this season. Aston jumped Alpine into 5th place. Williams in 7th gets some more points, now just 3 points behind Alpine. Haas with 5 points on 8th. Mercedes move above Alfa Romeo with a single point, and it's just Alfa left to score. In the pit stop competition, Max got the fastest stop, we got the second and fourth fastest stop, and Leclerc was down in 7th. So we actually score 1 point less. They get 31, we get 30. And that means we stay top. We are 11 points clear of Red Bull in the pit stop competition. Alpine move above McLaren. Solid points for Ferrari tonight. Mercedes get another couple of points, and Aston failed to score. Still no points for Williams, Alfa or Haas. Looking at the pit stop stage, not the greatest times, a 2.4 and a 2.3 for Mick, a 2.3 and then a horrible 4.2 for Oscar with a car jack delay, unfortunately losing him a good couple of seconds. Let's have a look at our driver report cards for tonight. So 13 successful overtakes, 12 failed for Mick, 12 successful defences, 10 failed, and for Oscar 10 successful overtakes, 13 failed, 4 successful defences and 9 failed. Not so good in the defending tonight. Although having said that, there was a lot of switching places between our drivers without an attempt at defence. So kind of balances out a little bit that way, I suppose. No experience for Ollie this weekend. We'll probably give him a run at Imola if weather permits. And let's have a look at the sponsors. So we got the finish position streak. That's an extra 370,000. We got the finish position of 2 in the top 6. 1 car in Q2. They were the incentives. The guarantees. We got the fastest lap. We got both cars in Q3. And qualified 2 in the top 6 as well. So 4.2 million added to the bank tonight. Did I end Lawson's career? Well, you could argue I gave him more of a career than he would have had in reality. Nobody else has picked him up. But we left him in a position that he was good enough to get on the grid. It's just, for whatever reason, he didn't get picked up by anybody. And it's unlikely we'll ever see him again now. We get an extra rating point overall for Oscar. He's up to 88 overall now. Let's just have a quick look. Where is Lawson? Is he still around or is he retired? He's gone. He's retired. Yeah, he's retired, as has Logan Sargent. Sargent has retired. In other words, they've moved on to a new formula. Yuki Tsunoda still out of contract. Can't believe no one signed Yuki at the end of last season. Be interesting to see where he ends up next year, if he ends up anywhere. Let's see. The underfloor has failed. We'll replace that. And everything is good here. Spare chassis ready in a day. New suspension will be ready for manufacturing in 2 days. 18 days away from the underfloor. So we are going to need to make another underfloor until then, because one is close to breaking. Let's see. What else did I need to make? What are we looking like for suspensions? Medium risk and fine, so we don't need to worry about those because we'll get the new ones in time. Let's check our inbox. Got a new ATR period starting today. That's good. Done the car inspections. Look at that powertrain for Mick. Ended up at just 40% in the end. Car report shows where we stand on the grid. That is excellent viewing. Very pleased with that. Board confidence check-in. Let's see, they were delighted with Miami. So we have high confidence. They are delighted with objectives. We've got both of the objectives from last season complete. We are on target in this year's objective to finish second in the Constructors, and our long-term objective to win the title has still got another 3 years after this one. Finances is satisfied. We have now got rid of one of the cost cap breaks off the chart. That will go to, well, that will stay satisfied now as long as we don't go in debt again. Driver development update. How did our drivers perform over the last month in terms of improvements? An extra point in braking for Mick. He's now got a 91 overall there. That's very good. And an extra point in accuracy for Oscar. Good stuff. Ollie gained a point in smoothness and a point in adaptability. He is coming along very nicely. And now we get to do our pit crew for the month. Let's just have a quick look at April overview. There was a new underfloor for Ferrari, and now they're working on a new suspension. Alpine are below where they expected to be, but they are about where everybody expects them to be, because Alpine always underperform, both in the game and in real life. And now let's do our training. So you want to make sure you're on cumulative training, so you can see your current fatigue level at any point in the month. So this is where our fatigue level is yesterday during the race. So I always give them the Monday off after a race weekend. And then what I like to do is give them a bit of a balance between skill training and speed training. But this season I've been throwing in some car building in there as well, because it's something I've been neglecting every year, really. I'll give them the Sunday off, because we've got a triple header coming up. And we'll put in some car building and some pit crew speed training there. Probably get away with an extra day, actually. Yeah, let's give them an extra day here. So you can see the fatigue level in the well-rested category drops down to 0 on the day before, and then it goes up on day 1, goes up again on day 2, it goes into the tired category on day 3. So if your fatigue here goes into the 50% category, the weary category, which I will demonstrate by throwing in a lot of high intensity training to push that high, you'll see how you can go up to like 47, 48%, that's fine. As soon as you hit 50%, that's trouble. So if I throw in another bit of training here, and look how much my chance of a mistake just suddenly rocketed up to 19.2% from 6.97, because I crossed that 50% threshold and moved them into weary. So you always want to make sure that your pit crew has plenty of time to rest before a Grand Prix weekend, because the fatigue will build up across the weekend. So I like to try and keep my fatigue nice and low where I can. I also like to give them the Monday off after a Grand Prix. And then if I've got the opportunity, maybe squeeze in a little bit of training. But I always check to see what my fatigue is like going into the race itself. 30% is fine. 1 day of training here. Again, giving them a breather before the Grand Prix. And then they'll be at 33% by the end of that race. And again, we'll give them the Monday off. And that's my training for the month. So over the month, we will lose just a fraction in terms of time, just a fraction in terms of car building. But we will, again, further improve our chance of making a mistake. So given it's already really, really good, I think what I might possibly do is change that to car building. There we go. So hovering around 7% on the chance of a mistake, that's fine. We get a bit more of a boost to car building. There we go. Happy with that. Yeah, I always go custom on my training. I never use the presets. I just find that, much better to plan in the way I want it to be. With the presets, you'll tend to see the AI preloading a lot of stuff at the beginning of the month and then giving a rest for the rest of the month, which by the end of the month is fine, but you'll have a couple of races where you'll just get absolutely hammered with mistakes. So better to balance it out across the month in a more constructive way, I feel personally. Let's change that to car building as well. Let's actually make that one. Let's stop training there. There we go. So that's my pit crew for the month. In terms of your sporting director, the stats that are important, I think, are processes. You can see here, this stat here, the higher the rating, the less the fatigue the pit crew gains from race weekends and training sessions. And I would also say that training is the next best one. The higher the rating, the faster they develop through training sessions and the less performance they will lose between seasons. So you want to work on those two stats first, and then you can start working on leadership and aptitude. But you want to get a good sporting director in. If you're at a team like Haas, then a great budget-friendly improvement straight away is to bring in Marco Pironi from AlphaTauri. 84 rated. He's young. He's not that expensive. He's pretty well balanced. If you can go a little bit more up in the budget, then at the end of season 1, Laurent Mekies and Ron Meadows are both out of contract at the end of season 1, but you need to have a decent rating with your team, and to be able to entice them to come to you, because obviously they're top teams. But yeah, those are my sort of recommendations for pit crew. Right, we've got 11 days to go until Emilia-Romagna, the Imola Grand Prix. We are going to advance time a little bit, get prepped for that before we end the stream. Got another spare chassis. There we go. So we now have 4 chassis in the warehouse. 2 on the car, 2 spares. Our tour centre refurb is done. That'll get our finances ticking over again nicely. And the new suspension is ready, so let's go and put that into manufacturing. So it's 7 days to make one. I rush. I can get one for the second day, but I don't really want to rush and spend that extra cash. So we're just going to go with 4 at normal rate. We'll have 1 in time for Imola. Might not put it on the car. We'll definitely have enough for a new suspension for each car when we get to Monte Carlo. Actually, you know what? I'm going to rush 3 so that I've got the chance, if I want to put an extra one on at Imola, so both cars can run it, or I've got a spare in case it's an accident. We'll make that decision at the end of Saturday practice. We'll see what happens. And then we'll also have a third one in time for Monaco, which means, assuming we don't destroy one, we'll have 1 on each car and a spare in case we have an accident in the wall in practice or qualifying. So we'll go with that. 1.35 mil, and then we'll just do normal manufacturing after that. Got a new slot available for a new part. Let's have a look. Our chassis is fine. Our rear wing is only spec 2 right now, as is our underfloor, but that's going through right now. So let's do a new spec. Let's see, actually. Let's take a quick look at our parts in the warehouse. So we could do with a better chassis still. Front wing could also be improved. Our rear wing's pretty solid, I think. Yeah, rear wing is probably the best on the grid. So that doesn't really need a big upgrade. Side pods, the engine cooling's pretty bad, but the drag reduction's excellent. Airflow's pretty good. Underfloor is going through right now. That'll hopefully improve the drag reduction quite nicely on that one when it comes. And the new suspension, definitely an improvement. What do I put my hours into? What do I put my hours into? I guess a new front wing. No, you know what? I'm not going to make any more parts for now. I'm going to just push on with research. So we've just done a suspension, which means we're not going to make another one for a while. So let's get a research project done, and let's put some hours into a new part. So we're going to split our hours up so we can do 4 parts. Let's see. Where do I want to focus for next season's car? I want to improve the brake cooling. That's going to take... all the parts are going to take a little bit of a knock. So I just want to improve drag a little bit more and brake cooling a little bit more. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's put one engineer on that. Get another project going and put some hours on that. And same for the chassis and side pods. We'll get some more support projects. Yeah, when a driver retires in this game, it's not necessarily means they've retired from the sport. It means they've just, decided not to pursue a Formula One career. So you can argue that, the older drivers have just retired outright, but the younger drivers, you can say, well, they can't get on the grid in Formula One, so they've gone off to a different category. Maybe they've gone to endurance racing, or maybe they've gone to touring cars or Indy, something like that, NASCAR. Right, we've got plenty of money in the bank right now, so I am thinking about an upgrade for a facility. We did have to keep an eye on the car part test centre. Still hasn't quite broken. An upgrade for that is going to cost me 12 mil. Would be quite a nice upgrade to have. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop that upgrade on the car part test centre. That leaves me a little under 6 mil. Check everything over through here. Yeah, nothing's about to break. We'll wait till that is ready to be refurbed before we do the final upgrade on the weather centre, because I don't want to spend 5 mil on that just yet. Do we want to complete the underfloor sooner? So it'll cost us 250 grand to get it 5 days earlier. Takes 7 days to make. What was the date that was being offered? 16th. So 16th is here. Take 14 days to get 2. So we would have 2 for race day, but not before. Which means I would need them for here at the latest, which I don't want to rush them. So it's not worth paying, because we've got a 2-week break then. So we'll just unveil the new underfloor when we get to Canada. So let's just acknowledge the email but not pay the overtime. We'll stick to the original completion date. Got a spare underfloor to keep us ticking over. No, the engine is in poor condition. That's fine. 4 days till Imola. Weather report is excellent. Good, good, good. And there we go. We are ready for the next round, which is Imola at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, round 6. That will be tomorrow night's race. We'll be back at the usual time, 8 p.m. here in the UK. Adjust accordingly based on your time zone. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. We gave it a good go. We couldn't quite match Max's pace in the end. But with brand new engines going in the car at Imola, I do think we've got a very strong chance of actually getting that win. And while we couldn't get back-to-back wins, we could get back-to-back second-place podium finishes for Mick after he finished second in Baku, both in the sprint and the race behind Oscar. So, yeah, good haul of points. We are still in striking range of Red Bull. We're only 25 points behind them. As far as the driver standings go, again, still in striking range, only 14 points behind Max. Mick moving up the order a little bit, is now just 8 points away from George Russell and just 11 points behind Charles Leclerc. So we are right in the hunt, and we are definitely looking better than we did at this point last season. We've managed to kick on and create an improved car on what we had last year in all the right areas. You know, we don't just have speed, but we have the downforce this year as well. which will be important at Imola. A lot of technical corners that we need the grip for. So yeah, I'm really hopeful of a strong result. I hope you'll join me for that. Until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more F1 Manager Hardcore series very soon.